So, this has been a week of a week.
It's a week every week.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just that this week's late.
Alright. You know what? Just cue the intro. Hello guys, it's Two Latin Brothers Podcast, also known as T.L.B.P. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
And we're back at it again with another vlog.
We're not vloggers.
I know.
We are podcasters, and our podcast has literally become us talking about nothing.
It is about nothing.
I mean, like...
It's about something, about nothing,
I mean, like, the
being
thing,
something.
Like, I mean, we're just talking, and it's just like a normal, everyday conversation. Like
For those who miss normal, everyday conversations.
No, I mean, like... No, that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that we used to have guests on here, which we have failed to do for, like... I think it's been 6 weeks now.
Yeah. I should...
We need to get a guest, and we haven't been able to do that in a while, due to the fact that we are so disconnected from the world now. And I don't know. I don't know. The other thing too is like I reach out to people and then they never text me back, so it's like there's that too, because school season kicks in and everybody's like, I'm busy, I don't have time, I gotta do things.
That's happened to me twice.
I gotta get stuff going. Annoying. And then you're like, but you're free as of one. Like in your case, people are like free really early now because of school.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other thing. But you can't do that on podcast. Anyway, so there's in my case, people are like, I gotta go to college, or people are like, I just got a new job, or stuff like that. So it's getting kind of hard to schedule around people, and unfortunately, we haven't been able to have a guest on due to that reason. Also, like a few people who I reached out to, they never got back to me. And then there are people who are like, yeah, sure, let's do it around this time, and I'm like, yeah, sure.
And then that never happens.
No, and then I reach out to them again, like when they say like they should be free, and then they just ghost me. So then there's that.
Yeah.
Not that I'm calling all of them out right now, but
I'm calling all of you out right now.
You can't do that.
All of you are gonna fight me. I'm gonna send out a mass email with the address and coordinates to the location of where we will fight to the death.
You cannot do that.
I will take on each person one by one.
I will have a
shotgun, and you will have your fists. We'll see who makes it out of this one. You will be approximately 7 feet away from me. You'll most likely survive.
Isn't it 2 feet?
No.
2 feet, the social distancing?
I don't care. You'll be 7 feet to make them feel like they got some kind of chance.
But
when I'm holding a shotgun straight at them, they're gonna struggle.
You cannot do this.
You will see.
You cannot do this.
We will talk about it later in the podcast.
We will not.
About how.
I think I should preface that you
for a dark turn.
I feel like we should preface that you just woke up like a little bit ago and you literally just got food in you.
Yeah. I'm happy now.
Okay, that's great. So yeah, that's what this podcast is. I don't know anymore, man. I don't know what to talk about.
You know what we can talk about? We can talk about mayo chop. It's mayo and ketchup together.
It's a completely unnecessary product that they're selling to you.
No, it's a completely necessary.
Why would I buy ketchup?
Mayo chop.
No, I mean, like, maybe if I'm having a hamburger, it makes sense. But who in the world eats that many hamburgers?
You can just put it in a sandwich.
Okay, so who's eating that many sandwiches?
I mean, kids eat sandwiches for like lunch, every
Who has
day.
a sandwich every day for lunch?
I know a few kids that are pretty messed up.
No, I'm just joking. Like, I remember, like, when I was in school, our mother, like, when she would make us lunch, because there was a time when she would make us lunch, I remember how she would make a sandwich, but it'd be like, it wasn't like an everyday thing. Like sometimes it'd be like leftover from the night before.
It'd be like I love the day after Thanksgiving. That sandwich would be amazing.
I remember when I got to college, my mother just stopped making lunch for me, and it was like really interesting because all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta make food.
Yeah.
I gotta prepare myself. And then like every now and then she'd like make lunch and I'd be like, yeah, I got a lunch today. But like when she wouldn't, it would be interesting because I'd go to like to the cafeteria and just like grab a sandwich or like something.
Yeah.
Or like I just like the other thing too is like, or like they have like a lot of like greasy foods. Like they have like pizza and like patin and like all this other. They had like a Subway like thing at the college I was going to. Or like you order like your sub and also I remember this one time like I can't remember, I did the math and like it was cheaper than Subway, so I just stopped going to Subway because it was like with the sub, the drink, and like a bag of chips on the side, like the actual meal,
like the combo.
Yeah, it was like I think it was like altogether it was like $10.
Nice.
But like from Subway it's like $11.99. I was like, wait a second. You mean to tell me I can save $2 on every meal?
Imagine if Subway started selling fries.
Why would they do that? They're a sandwich place.
No, I know, but imagine if they did that. So you have a sandwich with your fries.
That would make no sense.
I know, but it would just break everybody. Everybody would be.
That's like how McDonald's used to sell singular individual pizzas.
Yeah,
that's like a throwback. You weren't.
That wasn't even. That was like before my time. Yeah. It's a miracle I even know this.
Oh, it's because we tell you about it all the time. Like I remember back in like 2001, I could order like a singular.
It was in 2001.
Yeah, I think it was even before that. Yeah,
it's before that.
It's in the like late 90s. Around when I was born.
Yeah.
So I didn't really live it. I was just told about it.
Yeah.
And I remember how like the McDonald's.
It was actually around the time our mother was having you.
I remember. Our mom would tell us that our father. I remember how McDonald's used to look. I used to walk in and like they had like gray tiling.
Yep.
And they were obsessed with turquoise. Yep. Like the chairs were turquoise. Mm-hmm. And like they had like
I remember like literally beige. McDonald's evolved. I don't know what happened. It
became a cafe.
It got a lot of like I got a lot of pokey candies and stuff, and it leveled up and evolved, and it's crazy.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
McDonald's is just a large cafe. Like Tim Hortons. That's a cafe.
Tim Hortons,
and it's not even owned by an American company anymore. I mean, by a Canadian company.
Aren't they like Argentinian or something like that?
I have no clue. I think I don't know. Yeah.
You don't know.
I don't know.
You don't.
But I know it's no longer even Canadian. So.
You don't know that. You know that it's not Canadian anymore.
Yeah.
That's what you've concluded.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've concluded that it's no longer Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's okay, I guess. So 3 weeks ago.
I don't even know anymore.
3 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
We lost Black Panther.
Yeah, we lost Black Panther.
Was it 3? Let me check.
All right.
It was 1.
Or was it
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks ago, we lost Black Panther.
Yeah.
We have avoided the conversation.
We have.
Like last week we talked about it, but then I'm like, we can't. This is too early. Like it had been a week, and I was like, I'm still processing. Also, we were out in the middle of nowhere, so that didn't help either.
Yeah.
Like trying to talk, so like I cropped that whole part out of it. Also, like it's hard to like talk about somebody and like listening to all the things that he did while like
it's really
heart-wrenching.
That's exactly what it is.
You know, it's so hard to talk about. Like when we lost Kobe.
Yeah.
When we made that episode, like that episode was like
honestly, like that kind of hurt me.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I didn't even actually know him, and it's crazy that you can know somebody from a distance, and you can feel a connection to them, and you don't actually know them. So when they pass, it's like, oof.
The guy who wrecked me was Josh Gad.
Yeah.
Josh Gad's posts about this
about Chadwick's passing, yeah. It
hit me so hard. Like it hit me harder than I expected. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, Olaf just made me like drop a tear, you know? Like it was so bizarre. Like it's not just that he was everybody knows that he was like a Marvel superhero, and he was the king.
He also did many movies that
he portrayed various famous people in history.
Yeah.
That you know,
He did Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, he also did Marshall.
Yeah.
He did, you know, like all these iconic people in history who gave something to society, you know, and it is just, it's hard to put into words like that he, you know, that he was able to go about life without telling it, you know, like not telling the general public, you know, like
he didn't like, he wanted to be remembered for his work, his craft.
Yeah.
And if he would have said, you know, something, I'm sure the news would be different.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing too is like how he apparently like 2 weeks before he passed, he had gone into Marvel Studios to talk about Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
Like, cuz he was expecting to film that movie.
Yeah.
And it is amazing to see someone that dedicated to their craft.
Yeah.
Like, let alone that he, you know, he was a very talented actor, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that he was a very talented actor, it's just he was so dedicated to his craft. He wasn't going to let anything stop him from getting the job done.
Yeah.
You know, but unfortunately, things didn't pan out or work out, should I say. Things didn't work out the right way that he would have liked. But I think that
looking back on the things he did, and like the things he did with Tom Holland as well.
Yeah.
He'd go visit hospitals and, you know, go bring up the spirits of kids who were suffering of cancer as well. Yeah. And just looking back at that and seeing how he was also suffering through cancer as well.
Yeah. And
he was, you know, going out of his way for children, you know, and the kids didn't even know either, and no one else knew.
Well, the thing too is like it
showed that he was genuinely like a kind human being.
Yeah. Like, well, all the other people say how when he's there's an interview where he talks about how when they were filming Black Panther, he's like, there were people who, well, he would go into like to hospitals and see kids and stuff, and the parents would say how, you know, our kid tells us that, or they'd even tell him how, you know, I'm trying to stay alive as long enough to see your movie.
Yeah.
You know, like that. And then he tears up, and it's just like, you know, like it gets you, because at the time that he's lived this, you know, he's like, I gotta go to work, I gotta work on my accent, I gotta run my lines, you know, I gotta go to the gym. But
he's like, there's kids waiting for my film.
Yeah, and he's like, that means so much. But I can't imagine how it must have felt him living basically the same scenario, you know. Yeah. He was struggling with it as well. And it's really unfortunate news. And the other thing too is how, like, every actor has talked about how an amazing actor he was, and how
personality wise, he was like, an amazing human being.
His personality wise, and like we've seen like texts that he sent to people, like Josh Gad, a couple of other producers have also released like the texts and conversations. Like it's so
people have honestly genuinely started to call him king for the way his personality was.
Yeah,
he had the atmosphere of royalty.
Yeah, that's
what what people are saying.
Yeah,
like with the way he would hold himself, you know.
Yeah, or carry himself.
Yeah, carry himself.
It's just one of those things. I don't know. It's really unfortunate news. And Marvel still hasn't, you know, they're doing their own thing. They're like, you know, we're gonna give people.
Yeah, they've been fair enough to let everybody know, you know, or we're gonna let everybody mourn. Like, don't be thinking about like next production of movies and stuff, you know.
Well, the thing too is like they're. I mean, it's been 2 weeks and people are talking about it now. Yeah. How people are like, you know, they're just gonna, you know, move on, and they're probably gonna like, because I believe the comics have made his sister Black Panther, and they're like, they'll just move on with that. Yeah. But like, I can't, like, it must be so difficult, you know, to be an actor in that position, you know, because like you can't recast him.
Yeah, you like, and if you did, you'd get people like furious with you.
Well, like, what is it? Robert Downey Jr. said in an interview how they're like Marvel culture has made you an icon. Like you become iconic just because you become a superhero. And when he first got cast as Black Panther, everyone was like super hype, and he's like, I remember when the premiere happened, Chadwick was like, how do I, how do you do this? Like people everywhere, and people are like always excited. He's like, this is part of our culture. Like people just adore us for the stuff we do, and he's like, that's just how it is. And I can't, like, for a lot of people, watching Marvel movies is like a childhood thing, because like growing up, you read comics.
There's like for example, we went to a movie theater. I think it was like one of the Avengers movies. And there was like an old guy with his wife.
Oh yeah. I think I told this story before, where he was, I don't know if I told it on the podcast yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've told it on the podcast, but there was, so we went to a movie theater, and this guy, this elder gentleman was sitting next to me, and his wife was on the other side, and I think it was like one of the Infinity War movies. I think it was the first one, and he was telling his wife how he remembers like growing up reading like the comics, and I was like, that is nuts. Like
he'd remember being a kid having to go to a comic book store.
Like, and he was saying how he used to spend 25 cents to buy a comic book on like that thin paper, and how like, I was like, that's nuts. Like to be able to do that, and like
go from reading it as a child, and coming to see it on a big screen,
like I can't. That feeling of like nostalgia for him must be crazy. Like for me, it's still a lot. Growing up, like I remember when I was like 9, 10, 11, I read so many comics, because I was like, because I'm dyslexic, so I don't really like reading. So comics are like the perfect outlet for me, because there's
like not much reading and a lot of visuals.
Yeah, exactly. Also like graphic novels and stuff like that. But anyway, because of that, I got into reading, and then I gradually
progressed into getting
into novels. But the thing is like I read so many comic books, and I read like all of like the issues of comic books, and like all of this stuff, and like all this Marvel stuff, and for me it was a lot of nostalgia. Like, just like, because I remember being 8 and 9, reading these things, and then all of a sudden, I'm in a place where, like, I'm in a movie theater, and it's, like, on this, like, no, but I can't imagine his payoff, the gentleman's payoff, because we're talking decades. Like, decades of time passed before he could get there. I don't know what else to say now.
It was a great loss.
2020
is trying to break us, but we keep bouncing back, so.
That's for sure.
All we can do is just keep bouncing back.
And now school started.
School started. I have decided to,
Well, we talked about it a bit last week, how
I've decided to do at-home learning. And
so hopefully we'll have more time to record. Hopefully.
I mean, my class will be from 9 to 3, so.
No, I mean, but I mean, there's no travel time anymore. Like, just like going and coming and all that. The other thing too is that we have a lot of, you have a lot of friends who are going back to school. I have friends who are going to work. So.
Well, I have a few friends that have been planning to go to school, and since school's out early for them, they're gonna go straight to work.
So like in my case, I'm in that weird limbo. Like it's odd. I don't know. It's a very odd position to be in. Like everyone's like, it's not that people are being, some people are being unsafe, of course, but to take every precaution necessary, I just don't feel like that is being, like, what is it? And like already, I think it was like Alberta who announced, or I can't remember where it was, where they announced that they already have like a bunch of cases and schools just reopened recently. So
honestly, what people have been like saying and stuff is that we're gonna hit second wave probably mid-October. Because by that point, it's gotten around, and we're going to see that spike most likely. Hopefully not, but it's really likely that we can see a spike in mid-October. Or not even. We could have it 2 weeks from now. When symptoms are when all the
other thing too is like it's getting colder.
Yeah.
So
with the cold comes in the lower immune system
in Canada anyway.
And there's also the problem of like the flu.
Yeah, the flu.
People can easily confuse COVID and the flu.
Yeah,
it's dangerously close.
Yeah, flu season's coming back, and actually, it's interesting that you say that because I remember how we had I had to go get a flu shot for the very first time when I was like doing my placements in college and all that stuff, because I had never officially gotten a flu shot before. And I'm like, and they're like, yeah, you have to go get the flu shot. And I'm like, wait, why? They're like, because if you're going to be working in like one of these like organizations, not-for-profits, you got to get your flu shot. But to me, it was like, okay, I'll go get my flu shot, but like I never had the flu shot before.
Yeah.
And I've always heard like, nothing against vaccines, but people who often get the flu shot, they get sick like right after they get the flu shot, and then like they move on, right?
Well, it's because they're just giving a tad bit of essence.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah, so you see the antibodies also. Anyway, but so I got the flu shot. Nothing happened to me, and then like I remember I also had to go get like some blood work done. Mm-hmm. And that was like the first time someone had ever since I was very little, because when I was little, they had to draw blood for like another thing, but which is a totally unrelated thing. But this time around, they had to do some blood work, and I didn't remember when I was my parents told me about it when I was younger, but now that I'm older, like
I remember the first time they took out blood for
Adam. It's different, right? And then it's like they stick the needle in you, and
it's just pouring out of you. And you're like, no, it's mine.
Like it's a bizarre feeling, like to live that. It's like, why are you,
why is this necessary?
And why so much? And then the nurse who was doing it, she's like, the first bottle, the first vial. Yeah, the first vial. She's like, is basically worthless. Then I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, because it's the vial with all like the white blood cells in it. Yeah. She's like, because your body assumes like it's a cut and you're losing blood, so it's like all the white blood cells, right?
Just rush there.
Yeah, just rush there to heal. She's like, so in other words, she's like, it's not really to like the second vial that we have like the good stuff.
Yeah.
The real stuff.
Pure blood.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, why? And they take out 3 vials. And I'm like, is this okay? I'm like, should I go like lay down after this? Because I never lived this before. And she goes, she goes, no, you'll be fine. Like you can go do whatever you want. Yeah. And then I'm like, what? She's like, this isn't enough blood loss for anything. Not
unless they're pulling out a pint of blood out of you is when they're like, here, have some orange juice and have this cookie.
Yeah. But like it was interesting for sure. And then I had to go get like Xrays done on like, because they're checking if you have like tuberculosis. Like, there's so many things that they check for when like apparently, I didn't know this. I didn't have my tetanus shot, and you're supposed to have your tetanus shot before you graduate high school. And this is like one of those like, I remember the doctor was showing me. She's like, "Ooh, you slipped right by them." Like,
it's like I just slipped right by.
And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah." She's like, "You're not supposed to." I'm like, "Okay, well, now that I know this, can you give it to me?" And then she's like, "Okay, yeah, we can do that."
And she's like, "Yeah, here, distraction."
Well, actually, she didn't. She's like, "Do you need a distraction?" I'm like, "Why would I need a distraction?" She's like, "Okay." I'm like, "I'm not scared of needles." But this reminds me of a friend of mine who we had on actually on the podcast. I won't say who it was. But when we were in grade 7 and 8, you get your hepatitis B and A shot.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's the hepatitis B and A shot. So
A and B.
Yeah, I know it's an A and B shot. And I remember when he got the injection, he just passed out. Yeah. Like I was sitting like across from him, because in the room that they were doing it, it's like I'm sitting like he's like 4 feet away from me.
And it's just like, I'm good.
Yeah, no. And then the nurse is like, ready? And she injects it. And he's like, just falls back. Like, he just falls back. Yeah. Like, he didn't even see it. He felt it and he passed out.
He's just like, it's in me.
Yeah, like I remember, like I just remember like watching him fall, and then I told her, say like, let me help you with that. Yeah. And then I remember being there, and the nurse is like, don't worry, like they laid him down on like this mat that they had there just in case like someone passed out.
Yeah, and there's like some kids who like also get like dizzy or like they get nauseous from like just seeing a needle near them.
Well, the other thing too is like this guy was like. Some people, their arm goes numb after the injection, like it's part of the, like shock thing. And this guy's like, I don't feel my arm. Like, is that normal? And then she's like, it's just like the shock needle. Clearly, you have a fear of needles. Yeah. And it was like a whole thing. But I think it's interesting how
I deal with needles so easily.
Yeah, well, I've never had that fear. And actually, our mom, I remember when we were little. Not that I actually remember. My mom says when I was little, and they gave me like a shot when I was like 4 or 5. My mom says that I was crying, and then she's like, now tell a doctor thank you. You know, and I was like, okay. You know, like it's an interesting concept, really. Like
it's like they're hurting me, but thank you.
Yeah, it's like you're saving
thank you for my pain.
Yeah, like what is it? You have to, because you never had chickenpox.
No, but I had a specific kind of shot for that.
Yeah,
that's supposed to prevent me from ever.
Yeah,
very experimental. It's
not experimental.
It's not experimental. Like it's totally safe to use. It's just
you've never lived.
We've never like it gets worse as you get older.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
So if I find somebody with chickenpox, I'm gonna rub against them because
no, you can't. It's too late, bro. It can kill you. The older you get, it's the worse it is.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. So if I get it now,
yeah. Well, no. When you're 18 or 20, you have to get a booster shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should be on the ball for that.
No, I definitely.
Actually, I had a friend who she got it, and because I was the year I was born was like the year when it like had just come out, and it was still kind of like in the beta phase of it.
No, that's when it actually was experimental.
Yeah, and my parents were like, no, like we're not giving this to our child.
Yeah, by the time you guys are by the time
you came around,
we're just like, you know what, we're just gonna.
Yeah, and I remember when I got it. My sister got it, and our dad got it. Our dad had never had the shot either, and he had never lived it either, and he had it really rough. But I remember we had some friends who brought their kids over so they could get it too, so just knock it out of the park. Yeah. And I was like, this is crazy, like, how people are like, we just got to get this over with. Like, you guys just got to get this and get it over with. But, like, there are diseases and stuff like that's just how it works. You know, you got to get it and move on.
Yeah.
And but there was someone I knew who got chickenpox twice.
Really?
Yeah, like there was someone we knew who she got chickenpox twice, and I was like, that's crazy. And apparently she also had the shot. So I'm like, that must have been like a faulty shot, because like
it must have been some kind of placebo.
It was like
nobody told her she even got the shot.
Yeah, and she got it twice. I was like, well, how does that even work? But no, anyway, so going back to the girl in my program, she's like, I got the shot when I was like, she's like a year or two younger than me. And she's like in her 20s. She's like, and the doctor told me I have to get a booster shot for chickenpox. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you're one of those people. She goes, what do you mean? I'm like, you've never had chickenpox before. She goes, no. I'm like, I lived that. Mm-hmm. And then this like guy goes, I lived it too. Yeah. We're all like listing out like a bunch of you never lived that, and you're one of those people. You never lived it.
I don't want to live it.
I know, but like I never have to be like, because every 20 years you have to go get a booster shot for it. So till you die. So I mean, when you're 80, you get it. It's just that could be the cause of death.
I'll be fine.
It's like, I'll get a booster shot.
Just hit me.
But it's like stuff like that I think is like, I'll never have to worry about that. Never in my life. I'll just die.
Yeah.
But it's. Yeah, so I'll never have to get the booster shot. I'll never have to get a shot because I never had it to begin with. But you're on your own kind of thing.
That's what I'm saying. Just rub up against somebody.
No, it's not gonna work.
It's gonna work.
Actually, we had it. We did it with you already.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No,
someone had it, and we took you to see them, and you never got it.
No, that
pretty
never
sure.
happened.
I'm pretty sure
because my sister was saying how we should find somebody, and then we never did. And then my mom said the same thing.
Oh, anyway, like chickenpox pretty soon will be eliminated from planet Earth. If everybody gets a shot, it'll just die out because no one will be able to carry it.
I mean, after your generation's gone.
I mean, it'll take a few generations, yes. And
you'll be in like your 60s by the time it's completely gone.
I don't know. Also, like, I don't think it's that big of a concern because
it's a big concern.
I don't think it's a big concern.
Having the pox, bro.
That's not a big concern.
Let me tell you from personal experience. No. Never had it before, but
So you can't tell me it's from personal experience. I think a lot of people tend to misview how we go about vaccinating certain things. There's a lot of misinformation on the internet.
Yeah, there's a lot of everybody get your facts straight. Like, don't go online expecting to see the truth.
I mean, there is truth on the internet.
No, I'm not saying that there isn't truth. I'm saying don't go to like Instagram or Twitter and expect the first thing you read to be the truth.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Make sure you have another source.
What was it that thing you showed me on Instagram where like the guy's like, if you were born in the year 2020, you'll live to the year 3000?
Oh yeah, that was stupid.
That was like the funniest thing. I was like, that's not how it works. Like by the year 2021, you'll be 80 years old. Yeah. Like that's not how it works. There's oftentimes
I love the comments in that. It's just like, y'all are stupid.
Like there's so many things like that like people don't that are just like, how did we there's some guy like at 3 a.m. writing like who knows what. He was awesome. I find stuff like that so interesting. Also how like there are things that people do that seem like a good idea. But like it's people who are like, I'm gonna dive I'm gonna jump off my roof of my house on a trampoline into a pool, and then they jump off the roof and the impact on the trampoline, like because of the angle,
because it's not the trampoline isn't high enough and they just tear through it.
Yeah, they tear right through the trampoline,
or they bounce off the trampoline and it's in the wrong direction.
They miss the pool, or they hit the side of the pool. Like
they like hit the edge and then fall in. And it's just like, oh, that's gonna leave a mark.
That looked like that hurt.
Yeah, and then the other guy right behind him who was gonna do the same thing is like, you know what? I think I gotta go.
There's a video of this guy who jumps up, like this really old video. I remember on YouTube it went viral. There was this guy jumping off his roof onto a table, and when he landed on the table, he broke the table, and then you see like the leg of the bench just like splintered, and then the guy's pulling it like out of the floor, and it's like half of the leg of the bench sunk into and the comments were like, yo man, like what kind of grass you got? Like that's like a single. It was like the funniest.
It's like somebody hammered it.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I was like, whoa. And
it's like when you build a tent and you put like the pegs in.
Well, the other thing too is like, it wasn't like the guy was overweight. He was like a really scrawny guy too.
Oh, so it's just like, bro, it's like some quicksand.
Yeah, it made no sense. Everyone's like, well, how did you do this?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who do pretty crazy stuff. You know?
Yeah.
But they do it for the content.
No, it's not about content.
It's about the content.
It's not about content.
It's just that they like having that.
That was before content.
No, I know. It's just people like to have that feeling, that rush, you know?
That rush?
That they could get from alcohol or drugs. But I don't recommend it, and I don't recommend the other one either.
You
know what? Just don't get a rush, you know? Or
go on a roller coaster.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just go on like some kind of theme park.
You know,
get on it.
You kind of can't do that. COVID.
Tell that to Disney World.
Tell that to Canada.
I wonder if Wonderland's open.
Now he's thinking.
What if Wonderland's open?
Like think about it. Calypso can't really be a thing. It's fluid all over.
Isn't that Canada's biggest water park?
Yep.
I mean, but if the water has chlorine in it, then I guess it'd be okay. I think you'd actually be safer in that water than being out in the general public.
Again.
Think about
it. But it gets really diluted.
Okay, fine. But let's say that they have like a good supply of chlorine in there. Like a decent amount, you know? Like it's like a 50-50.
Watch this. Water's falling from the skies. It falls down. Hits my face. Alright? Goes in my mouth. What's going to be my reaction? To spit out the water that went in my mouth.
Yeah.
Now people are walking all over that.
Okay.
So now that's my fluid.
Yeah.
On the ground.
But this...
Not the water. My fluid.
Okay.
Straight out of me.
Okay.
To murder everyone.
Okay, but say I step in it, okay?
Okay.
I step in it, right? I'm walking around barefoot. I step in it.
Yeah.
Then I jump into a pool. Problem solved.
What if somebody spits in the pool? What there's
chlorine
there's those
in the
kids
water.
who pee in pools.
But there's chlorine.
That's even worse if you're like right beside the guy. That's nasty.
But I'm talking about the chlorine in the water.
Yes, again.
You know what? I can't with you right now. I can't.
I can.
We talked about Chadwick. My heart's broken. I can't with you right now.
All right.
I think we should wrap up.
Okay, guys, this has been Two Latin Brothers Podcast. Everything's always in the description, whether it's up, down, left, or right. Make sure you share with your donkey, share with the goldfish, share with your grandma. Who knows who you're talking to? Share with the aliens. I don't know. Truth is out there.
You can't quote X-Files. I think that's copyrightable.
Copyrightable?
Yeah.
You know what? Sponsor me.
X-Files is not going to
I'm not saying X-Files is going to sponsor me. I'm just like, anybody... Just go for it. Like,
somebody sponsor me.
Somebody sponsor me. Just, honestly.
Also, why is there a bottle of ketchup behind you?
Because it's 57.
For those, I'm not gonna say the company.
No,
that's like a shout out.
You know
I can't do that.
Heinz sponsor us. You know, Coca-Cola sponsor us. You know,
I can't with you right now.
I want to sponsor. I will literally go out of my way to yell at some old people. Tell them to try some Coca-Cola.
Okay, just wrap up, man.
You know what, guys? It's been a good one, kind of. You know, we had our happiness. We had our mourn.
This was a journey.
This was more than a journey. This was an event passed through generations.
I don't know. Just stop.
Okay.
Just stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. All right. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Probably still not with a guest, because you know, people be people. I am human. We'll catch you guys next. Bye.
Bye.